Oh, my. What up, everybody? Welcome back. How's everybody doing? We don't have many people here, but hey, we don't do this very often, so we got to figure out how to make that change and everything. What's up, everybody? Got a lot of things to talk about today. We're going to be covering some box office news. Things are not looking hot right now. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Hollywood is not on fire. We're going to take a look at the DVDs and whatnot that come out tomorrow. So if any of you 4K people, or there might still be some Blu-ray folk out there, if you include yourself in that, you might want to know about those upcoming discs that are coming out tomorrow. And we're also going to talk about Megan 2.0. The director's coming out and saying, as you might be surprised to think, they might not stop at a 2.0. They might continue to go on and on and on. And that's no surprise to anyone, I don't think. But we'll see what he's got to say about that. Also, we got James Gunn is talking about the movie industry is dying because films are made without finished scripts and everything. And I think I can pretty much say that's absolutely true with having covered especially superhero movies and stuff over on HMP Volume 1 for well over 600 episodes. I think at this point, yeah, I can say that we've seen a lot of movies out there that don't exactly have finished scripts and whatnot. So we'll talk a little bit about that James Gunn as well. And then I'm going to talk about Jaws at 50, the definitive inside story. Jaws 50th came out on 4K UHD this week. I got the steel book, the steel case book, or steel book. I got that when it came out and everything. It looks great from a quality standpoint and everything. Everything is nice. It's my second Jaws Steelbook 4K, so there'll be more to come, I'm sure. But at least with this one, it does have a new documentary, Jaws at 50, kind of a brand new retrospective, and one that I wasn't quite expecting. So we'll talk about that as well, and maybe we'll have time to do other things. Maybe we won't. Who's to say? As always, if you're in here for even half a moment, man, thank you so much. I appreciate you stopping by and just leaving a like on this thing, even if it's like out the door, even if like you're coming in here and you're just saying like, "Hey, what the hell's going on in here? This is stupid." Leave a like on the way out, if you will. That at least helps something. I'll take anything at this point. It's we're because we're desperate over here, and of course, as being as desperate as we possibly can. You can always just throw in a super chat, aka Portrait Bucks. And when you do, you hear that sound. So at least there's something in there for you to do to where you get to hear a fun sound. So as you know, just kind of send those this way. But I'll be honest with you, to get seen here in chat and stuff like that, you don't have to worry about it because we don't have many people here. You'll get highlighted. Don't worry. Oh man. So let's kind of get into it. Let me get my screen up here. Well, Hollywood has been having a hard time keeping up with everything, and the box office is starting to show it. Let's check out the domestic box office for weekend number 25 here. Man, oh man. So How to Train Your Dragon is in its second week and is at $36 million, a drop of 56.8%. Yikes. I still cannot understand why we are remaking all of these what do you call them? Just all the animated movies that we're doing, be it obviously in this case DreamWorks, be it Disney, whatever. Why are we doing this? I to a degree I understand why Disney is doing it, because Disney is really trying to run afoul of copyright and everything. They don't want another Steamboat Willie situation on their hands, so they're like, okay, if we redo it and we do it in this form, it'll count forever, or at least for the next couple of years and everything. So I don't know where that's at, but like, did anyone go like, man, I really wish they would have just made another How to Train Your Dragon. I really, really love those movies. I want a live action version. Who asked for it? No one that I could imagine. Then we had 28 years later. I saw that there's a review up on the website and everything. So, or on the YouTube page here rather. So go check that out. 28 years later, the more I think about it, the more I like it, the more it is wacky and crazy. One of the things that I didn't mention that a lot of people talk about in their reviews and stuff, which I finally started watching other people's thoughts and opinions on the movie. Interesting to see where everybody goes because it's very like either people are like, this is great, or what the hell did I just watch? This is crazy. And I was in almost what the hell did I just watch? This is crazy until like the last act, but not the last portion of it, which I just chalked up to the rest of the film, right? A lot of people are calling that the Power Rangers moment, and if you've seen it, you'll know what I'm talking about. But that's not a spoiler or anything, but you'll go, oh, Power Rangers. That makes sense. A lot of people are just like, well, that ruined everything for me. I'm like, that was par for the rest of the movie as far as I was concerned. And I didn't know, we'd for sure be getting another movie or anything out of it. So I was like, I don't really care one way or the other. We got Elio. Elio comes in with a hot $20.8 million at the box office. That's a Pixar film, boys and girls. A Pixar film opens, not week 4, not week 5 or something like that, where it's in the dregs of summer and there's a lot of awesome things and stuff out there. No. Opening weekend, $20.8 million for a Disney Pixar movie. Ooh. Ouch. But at the same time, too, they've got number 4 with Lilo and Stitch. Again, another live action remake of an animated series. Why on God's green earth are we doing this? Lilo and Stitch about to go out of copyright anytime soon. It's just like, it's because they're bankrupt, man. They're bankrupt. They have no real ideas or anything. They're just kind of skating by. It's absolutely awful. But people are going to go see it. Man, what's that sucker got all the man, $386 million. So as much as I kind of poo-poo on it and everything, they doing all right over there. Mission Impossible Dead, the Final Reckoning, rather, is at $6.4 million. That's on its 5th week, so you figured that's got to make sense. The rest of them, who wants to even go through all that? Where they're down to like 49,000. Oh my word, this is atrocious, ladies and gentlemen. Really, really bad news for Hollywood and the Hollywood system and everything. Here's the thing, man. Why don't we just like re-release movies? Why don't we just re-release movies into theaters that are going to be good? For example, we're talking about Jaws today. Jaws will be released, at least in my kind of local theater. They do it every single year on the 4th of July because, as you may or may not remember, and if you don't remember, shame on you. But Jaws is the 4th of July movie. And when I say it's a 4th of July movie, I mean it like Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Without Christmas, Die Hard would not take place. Without the 4th of July, Jaws would not take place. So I enjoy watching Jaws on the 4th of July as it is a 4th of July movie. And my local theater will have it. And you know what? Even though the fact that I just bought this Jaws 4K Steelbook and everything, for the umpteenth time, I'm still going to go out and watch it because I will tell you this much. Every single time, and we'll talk about it more in the Jaws portion of the program, but every single time I go out, it's different, man. It's a different experience with a whole bunch of people. And the best part is it's with a whole bunch of people who have seen this movie before. And at the exact same time, they are jumping in their seats at parts they know. They know what's happening. They've seen it a million times. But man, when that shark jumps out of the water and just says, why don't you come down here and jump some of this shit? It's awesome. It is amazingly awesome to watch people still jump at something they know is coming. Because I'll tell you this much, it is different on a bigger screen. What up, Alex? Alex says, I saw Raiders on Father's Day in a mid-sized theater, and it was packed. Exactly. This is my exact point. If you start bringing back theaters and, something that people might actually want to see, surprise, 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 they might go see something. One of my favorite times was when I was working at the movie theater and I would go through and we would have these retro screenings and stuff like this. And sometimes they would have like nobody there, but other times they would be absolutely packed. And it was the best. It was so awesome to walk in and see an entire stretch of movie goers going to see The Goonies, right? How amazing is it to see these things in an environment where people are actually engaged. And I thought about this recently as well. This is let me see what you think about this. I think part of the one of the things that we can do to kind of curb a lot of theater yapping and all this other stuff and all the distractions in theaters and everything is to black box the cell phones and stuff. We do it at comedy clubs, right? Because you don't want the phone interacting or, A, recording, right? B, just distracting you from other things, distracting, the artist, whatever. I don't think it would be a horrible thing if we black boxed cell phones when you walk into a movie theater. And if you just go like, well, I'm a doctor, I can't put my phone away because just in case there's an emergency, then don't go to the movies. You don't go. Simple fix. Movies are out 3 months later on DVD and stuff anyways. Who cares? But if you go into a movie theater, lock up your cell phone. When you get it back, when you leave, you come and get it. Like, I would like to think that you could do it much like a whole bunch of like banks on the walls there and everything, just kind of like like an airport. Like, you remember the old school airports where you had the lockers and stuff like that? Just a tiny little locker, little tiny little thing like that. You just throw your cell phone in, take your key, and then when you come back out, you're good to go. That way we keep your phone intact. You don't got to worry about it. And even, I'd even do it like on, the precipice right there, like just past the door and everything. Keep them all locked up and whatnot. And so as they go out the door, they can just get it. You're all set to go. Now it's going to lead to a bottleneck once everybody leaves and everything. If it's a packed theater, but it's I think a small price to pay for not having some butthole take out their camera in the middle of the thing, or their phone rather. And what was it I just saw? I just saw a movie, and there was somebody in the, I'm gonna call it third row. Third row, couple times. No, second row. It was second row for sure. Second row, they pull out a cell phone. It is gleaming all the way up to the top. I had to yell. I mean, I didn't say much or anything, but I'm like, hey, put away your phone. And like they did for the most part there, which was nice. But I feel like we could black box phones. I think that would be an okay thing. Let's talk about this next disaster here, because this is this is a big old problem. This kind of contends with it here. Elio box office flop. Why Pixar can't launch why can't Pixar launch original films? That is a damn fine question here, because you remember, certainly back in the day, Pixar just used to be, home run king. Banger after banger after banger after banger. But now, what was it called? Big Red? Was that the one with the big cat thing? Essentially about a girl getting her period. It's like, what is this? What is this? We're just trying to have a family moment here, and you're just like, hey, what happens when you get uncontrollable urges? I'm like, oh, what are we talking about? No. Let's see why. Let's see why. Now let me ask you this though. Here's the big question. Elio at the box office. Who the hell's even heard of this film? I go to the movies all the time. Now I don't try to watch all the trailers that are out there and everything, but I gotta be completely honest with you here. I've never even heard of this film until this weekend. When somebody just said this movie flopped, this Disney movie flopped, or Pixar. I don't know if it's technically Disney. It's all the same shit though, still, right? Am I wrong? But they're just like, oh, this Elio flopped and everything, and I'm just like, well, yeah, I've never heard of it before, so I would imagine that it probably flopped. But let's read on and see what the old Variety here has to say. Disney's animated adventure Elio failed to lift off at the box office, underscoring Pixar's continued struggle to launch original films. After all, Pixar hasn't stumbled with sequels. This time last year, Inside Out 2 opened to $154 million domestically before delivering a record-breaking $652 million in North America and $1.69 million globally. What the sweet hell? I saw the first Inside Out movie. I thought it was fine. It's fine. Nothing wrong with it. But my word, why did this sequel make so much money? And I never saw it. I don't know anyone who did see it. I don't know how it made so much money. Doesn't make any sense. They're just like, no, 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 trust me. This makes money. I don't get it. Fast forward 12 months, and Elio face planted with the worst start in Pixar's 30-year history, earning $21 million domestically and $35 million globally. Oh, good God. There was part of me just goes like, okay, maybe they made it up in the international markets. No, they most assuredly did not. Oh, my word. Those ticket sales are problematic because Elio, which follows an 11-year-old misfit on an intergalactic mission, cost $150 million to produce before factoring in global marketing expenses, which, if most people are be to believed, is usually about twice that or close to. That's why they always say most of these movies need to make at least 1.5 times their actual budget back. If you're counting in, it used to be P&A but there's no real prints and stuff right now, so it's mostly just the A. But man, that's quite a difference there. I don't know that you can make that up in Elio toys. Are those selling well? Maybe that's just kind of maybe the Elio movie. Maybe the Elio movie is the soft sell for the Elio toys. Think about that. These would be solid numbers for another original animated film. But this is Pixar, says David S. Gross of movie consulting firm Franchise Entertainment Research. By Pixar's remarkable standard, this opening is weak. Yeah, no kidding. With the poor turnout for Elio, Pixar hasn't successfully launched a new theatrical property since 2017's Coco, which I thought was just okay. It's fine. It was fine. What was that Bruno movie? Where's the one that we don't talk about Bruno? What was that one? I didn't see that one, but I like all them people talk about that thing. Doesn't make me want to see it at all. It would be easy for Pixar to consider that and retreat into the world of sequels and reboots. And you bet your sweet Bippy, that's exactly what's going to happen. This is like, as much as I don't give a crap about Elio or any of this mess, the fact of the matter is this failing is a net loss for everybody, not just Pixar, but it's a loss for you and I as well, because they're not going to learn any lessons from this. They're not going to say, you know what we need? More new, interesting, original program. No, they're going to say, I told you this wouldn't work. Got to go back to, it's time for Toy Story 17. Why not? But over the long term, the company will need to replenish its aging franchises with fresh characters and stories. Do you remember what year Toy Story came out? Wasn't in the 2000s. We old, y'all. We old. But over the long time, the company will need to replenish blah, 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 blah. As it's home to Toy Story, The Incredibles, and Finding Nemo. Incredibles with their, 20-year gap or whatever in between that. Pixar is considered the gold standard for family entertainment. Was considered gold standard. Was. However, the company's last 4 attempts at trying something new, those include 2020's pandemic hobbled Onward. Onward was it was awkward and weird, and it was really bizarre because it looked like a DreamWorks film, but it was a Pixar film. really, I mean, like that alone was enough to kind of throw people. I think they were just like, this is some dumbass DreamWorks film. We're not going to go watch this. And if they would have known, like, oh, it's Pixar, it was pretty good. It just like, I don't know, it didn't have that it factor. And I really think it was the animation's problem with it. Lightyear, we all know what happened there. In 2023's Elemental. You know what's weird is I saw the Elemental trailer so many times, I've convinced myself that I've seen that movie. Now, granted, I was also working in a movie theater at the time, so I think I probably ducked in and out of a theater a few times while that was going on. But for whatever reason, I feel like I've seen it, and it's all racism is bad. I don't know if you knew that in the year of our Lord 2025. Breaking news. Racism is bad. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. It indicates Pixar's name alone is no longer enough to fill seats in the multiplexes. Amen to that. Its challenge now is creating films that feel distinctive while also being easily marketable. Y'all don't know how to do that for nothing. For a period after COVID, it's always COVID's fault, isn't it? Parents and kids are reluctant to return to theaters. It ain't got nothing to do with COVID. It's got to do with the price, which continued depressed grosses for movies aimed at that demographic. There's no longer a state of play, yet even as kid-friendly fare has enjoyed box office resurgence, many of these recent winners like Lilo and Stitch and a Minecraft movie and How to Train Your Dragon have been part of well-known properties. And again, like I said, this is only going to continue to fuel their, love of going after bullcrap. They're just going to continue to give you this same old garbage over and over again, and you are going to say, thank you, sir, may I have another? As we always do. As we always do. Coming out of the pandemic, the bar has been set higher for a number of genres, including family films, says Gross. It's been hard to create something with something new with animation. I mean, you can make anything you want in animation. Audiences want more of the same or something very different. There it is. There it is. That's what the difference is these dum-dums don't know what you want. They don't know. And the fact is frankly, I don't think that we really know all that much either. We all sit there and say that we want something new, but when they do hand us something new, we say, no, thank you. We don't want that. And I think that's a shame right now because honestly, I think there's a lot of really cool stuff out there, especially like I've been kind of shouting in the horror genre. There are good movies and stuff out there. The unfortunate part is no one's going to see them. Alex says, doesn't Toy Story turn 30 this year? Why not just re-release it on the big screen? I would love to have my son see it. The only time they've experienced it was on a TV screen. It would be a great experience. And as somebody who did that I want to say it was the 20th anniversary, maybe the 25th one. But I saw a screening of Toy Story when they brought it out in 3D, which, by the way, 3D conversion on it, dope. It was real good. I was afraid, dude. I was so afraid of that theater. It was, and when I say packed, absolutely packed to the gills, and they were kids everywhere. Kids as far as the eye could see. And I was nervous, dude. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to, because I get antsy when people are talking and screwing around and stuff in theaters. That stuff gets on my nerves big time. So I was afraid these kids were going to drive me insane. And I got to be honest with you, the second that thing started, nothing. Not a peep. It was unbelievable. The only other time that I've been more impressed was, again, it was another Pixar film, and I think Pixar is the company that at least at one particular point had the power to do this. I went to see a preview screening of Up, right? And I don't know what you know about the movie Up. If you've seen it, you know that the first 15 minutes of Up are a little bit intense from time to time. Can get a little emotional for you if you've got a heart in your chest, And we were at this preview screening again, chock-a-block full of kids and whatnot. And as Up is going on, the tragic moment happens. And it kind of, because it goes on, there's a little like it happens, and then there's like this rest period, and like it kind of goes on for a little bit. You could hear a pin drop in this theater. Kids were enthralled. Because, and the best part is like the majority of that segment has no dialogue. It's a silent film for all intents and purposes. And every single one of those kids was laser beamed into the screen. You can do it. You just have to actually want to actually write something good. I know Pixar hasn't done that for quite some time, but maybe it's an idea they might want to, revisit at some point. Let me see which button is my best one here. Which one of them, damn it? I don't know. All right, here we go. In the case of Elio, the box office analysis analysis believe an unfavorable release date contributed to it's the beginning of summer. Oh no, it's just a bad weekend and everything. What with the NBA finals and all, you know how it is. There's like, that's at least 200 million gone right there. The NBA audience loves Pixar films. Loves them. Elio opened 1 week after Universal's live action How to Train Your Dragon. That was probably a little bit of a mistake, let's be frank. But at the same time, too, who knew that would actually make money? I mean, there's like, it's made decent money, not amazing money, but decent enough money, enough that they'll do another one because they're just that dumb. Which targeted a similar younger audience and stayed strong with $37 million in its sophomore outing. I'm going to tell you this right now. The How to Train Your Dragon crowd, the crowd that went out to see that, they're millennials. They're millennials, 100%. They love that movie for some reason. I don't know. It skipped me. But there is a large group of millennials that went to see How to Train Your Dragon a lot. Like a lot. And it's just like, you were too far old to see that shit too. That was kind of the problem. It was just like, why are you treating this children's film like it's, The Godfather or some shit? I don't know. It was a strange one, man. It opened strong with 37 million somewhere outing. There were also overlap with Disney's other recent tentpole, Lilo and Stitch. Again, I think they were really kind of nailing it here. Is they didn't have a smart plan. They just put this. They knew it was going to be shit. That's exactly what it comes down to. They knew this movie was going to be garbage. They knew nobody was going to see it, and they're going to plop it in the middle of their other stuff. So maybe it doesn't look so bad to the shareholders there and everything. They'll see their stuff go right back up when the next whatever the crap comes out. Fantastic Four, which things are not looking good. Getting a little scared about that, guys. Blah, 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 blah. There's a barrier for entry for most original films, but Elio is a case of bad timing. Competition from family audiences are difficult to overcome, and it makes you wonder how Elio would have performed if it was in the spring or a week or two later. It wouldn't matter because no one gives a crap. No one heard about it. That's why no one saw it. Pixar's dominance has looked shakier since the pandemic when several of his titles, including Soul and Luca, were sent directly to Disney+. I saw Soul in the theater. I don't know about that. While cinemas were recovering from prolonged closures. As a result, audiences were trained to expect those movies at home. Also very true. When Disney began putting Pixar movies in theaters again, Onward and Toy Story spinoff Lightyear fizzled due to poor execution and weak reviews. That's a nice way to say they made a shitty film. Good job, guys. Though Elemental and Elio were considered a step in the right direction. Were they? At least with critical receptions and audience response, improvement in quality didn't correspond with ticket sales. Are you putting me on? Hey, man, they were really good. It's just y'all didn't go see them. Get out of town, dude. The streaming strategy may not have created the problem that Pixar is having its original animation, but it's possibly expedited it. Oh, my God. How long does this fucking article go? All right, I'm not reading anymore. My word, that was just like that's 45 minutes on. I thought that was a quick one. There's another one in here that's going to be a long boy, but we'll get to that soon. I just don't understand it, man. Pixar has absolutely lost their way. Uh, they used to be kind of like the Nintendo seal of quality and everything, where it's like if you saw that, you were just like, oh, I know this is going to be good. Pixar used to be that seal of quality, man. They were just like, oh, listen, I don't even know what this is, but I'm willing to go and give it a shot because it's Pixar, and those guys don't really miss. And today, they be missing a lot. And I think you can say what you will, but I think firing John Lasseter was the probably the biggest mistake they ever made. He hugged people. It's bad. All right, you dirty babies. If those of you out there are nerds, you any nerds out there? You might be that. Blu-rays come out every Tuesday, just like music used to. They still come out. All these things they still come out in all this time. Can you believe it? It's unbelievable. But here's some of the DVDs and stuff that are coming out on this 24th of June. Happy birthday to my dad. This is my dad's birthday and everything today. There's no way he's watching. He's sleeping right now. I don't think he's ever watched a YouTube video in his entire life. That's not true. I think he's watched a couple, but he's never watched any of mine. That much I do know. Happy birthday, Dad. We got Dark City coming out on 4K from the folks over at Arrow Video. Yippee-yi-ki-yay. I know a lot of people enjoy Dark City. It's been a minute since I've seen it. I don't remember particularly liking it when I saw it in high school. So I'm not, and that should have been the time that you're prime set to see Dark City and everything too, right? High school should be the time where you're like, this is rad. But I haven't. I haven't seen it since then. I'm a little bit wary of checking it out. But I will say this: I do remember the quality that I saw Dark City in originally, and no bueno there. So my guess is they probably went back and got a good 35 millimeter transfer of this thing and everything, and it probably does look rather good. So if you are a fan of Dark City, check that out. Now, Sorcerer 4K. This is a good one, man, and I think this is coming out in Criterion. I will probably be picking this up in the July sale at Barnes & Noble for 50% off, so I can get this half off. And I'll also be picking up the Wes Anderson collection. Just keep taking my money, I suppose. But Sorcerer had kind of a weird history and stuff when it came out on DVD and Blu-ray and stuff like that, where it just like the transfer wasn't correct. Friedkin was really pissed off about it and whatnot. So I think this should be set to go. There was like one of the versions he was like, this one I approve of, the other one I didn't, and then the DVD itself or the Blu-ray itself sold out and whatnot. So it was really tough to get. So it's hopefully this is a good thing. Criterion usually does a good job with transfers and stuff like that. Maybe not as much as I would hope they would as of late, but that's neither here nor there. We got Lethal Weapon coming out in 4K, been a regular Steelbook and your regular edition there and everything, as well as Bring It On. I know there's a lot of millennials out there, huge Bring It On fans, as well as Road Trip and Mouse Hunt, of course. Those are always good ones. Peacemaker, remember that one, man? We were just like, man, this is when George Clooney like really started, like he was already kicking off as like a big movie star and everything, but man, for whatever reason, it was like when he was with Nicole Kidman, it seemed to kind of change things. Like, oh shit, he's with Nicole Kidman now. That's a big old movie star. He's like one of them real movie stars. St. Elmo's Fire coming out on 4K. That's one of the Brat Pack movies I have not seen, but all I can think of is that little song. St. Elmo's Fire. I'm a little hoarse today, so I'm sorry that wasn't as good a rendition as you deserve, frankly. Two movies that I would recommend that you check out are coming out on Blu-ray and 4K tomorrow. We got The Monkey and Novocaine. The Monkey was pretty good overall. I didn't absolutely love it and everything. My review is on the YouTube page there and everything, so check that out, as well as my review of Novocaine. Both of those are out there. But I really, really enjoyed Novocaine. Novocaine was the movie that Love Hurts wishes it was. Really fantastic. And for all of you Minecraft babies here, we finally have the Minecraft 4K Steelbook coming out, huh? Man, let me tell you, those the sixth graders that I would substitute teach and everything, still rolling with the chicken jockey, man. They're still rocking chicken jockey every now and then. It's quite a while. Oh, we got Novocaine in a steelbook, as well as I Know What You Did Last Summer. Okay, there you go. Snow White steelbook. Snow White steelbook. That's it, everybody. Finally, get your Rachel Ziegler commentary. I'm ready for it, baby. I'm ready. She's going to come in and she's going to tell us about how this was the best thing ever, how the old one sucked ass and wasn't no damn good. And now she came in and changed the game as it should be. So good. Got JFK coming out. I know JFK, I think Shout Factory's got a big old boy of that as well. So that would be pretty good. We got a pretty solid list of stuff coming out here. Fascination in 4K, the silver nothing else that kind of jumps out super big. But yeah, not a too shabby list. I would say definitely Novocaine, the Monkey. Of course, your Lethal Weapon is always a good one, Sorcerer and Dark City. But listen, I haven't seen Road Trip in a long time, but I will tell you this much. I will not be paying a full retail price for a Road Trip. No, sorry about. Not going to happen. So we'll be checking all that kind of good stuff out. All right, let's see what else we got on the docket. I don't know about you, gentlemen and ladies. There's no ladies out there. Who are we kidding, right? But let me ask you this. What are you looking forward to this summer? Me? I'm looking forward to a little rest, a little relaxation, a little horror film, man. A little horror film called Megan 2.0. And let me tell you, as you might be surprised, Megan 2.0 may be going on for more than one more film. Shock, shockaroo. Well, let's read this from our friends at The Hollywood Reporter. Megan 2.0 filmmaker Gerald Johnstone won't be surprised if there's another 5 of these movies. Holy crap. The writer-director talks those T2 comparisons and the fateful decision to include Megan dancing as part of the marketing for the first film, a move that helped it become a viral phenomenon. I was a big fan of Megan when it came out. The idea itself, this was one of those horror films where I see the basic plot of it in the trailer, which usually takes about, we'll call it 30 to 45 seconds. And then once they've put the hook in, I'm done. I'm set. I'm ready to go. I'm so excited at that point. That's what I want. I close my eyes and I'm just like, yep, I don't need to know anything else about this. This movie, I haven't seen thing one about. I mean, I've heard the trailer a couple times. I've not seen anything that's been going on. I am excited for it just because it was stupid. This is a stupid horror film, and sometimes you should enjoy stupid horror films. Nothing wrong with it. But let's read some of the fun stuff here. Let me see if I can kind of fix my window a little. Boop, there it is. That's better. When the New Zealander made his major studio debut in January 2023 with Megan, he channeled his own parental anxiety regarding the emotional dependence on today's youngest generations have on their devices. In the franchise launching film that grossed nearly $182 million against a $12 million. Okay, first of all, let's talk about this for just a second. This movie cost $12 million. They reshot some of this movie. Someone I know, and maybe you know too, worked on some of those reshoots. $12 million. And it made 182. Hollywood needs to understand this is how you do it. This is how you save your dying business, frankly. It's your entire business. Your entire business is dying because you don't know any better. Let's see if I can make this bigger for you and me. There we go. A little bigger. I would do. Uh, Katie James, Violet McGraw, lost both of her parents in a car accident, prompting her preoccupied robotist aunt, played by Gemma Foster, Allison Williams, to raise her with the help of a prototype android doll named Megan. That decision quickly backfires when Katie becomes too reliant on Megan. From there, the AI-powered toy proceeds to kill 4 people, spoiler alert, damn it, and a dog in the name of supposedly protecting Katie. This movie was fantastic. It was just so much fun. It was stupid. It was PG-13, but it was a PG-13 that you really didn't care was PG-13. It just kind of rolled with it well enough. It was good. The critically lauded techno horror comedy also hit theaters at the same time when AI technology such as ChatGPT was beginning to take root, and so the 2021 shot film happened to ask many of the same questions that were now being asked in real life. Has this tech been fully baked? How can we really trust an artificial intelligent entity? Is the human workforce about to become obsolete? Jon Stone's sequel, Megan 2.0, ventures to explore these very thoughts and concerns, and the filmmaker is of the mind that we do bear some responsibility in how we use AI. I personally love it when horror films and horror directors and stuff get hoity-toity, especially when they're peddling garbage. Listen, Megan 2.0 is not going to be some amazing think piece. It's going to be another dumbass Blumhouse film that you're going to watch for all the stupid little kills and, and a dumb little girl robot. That's what you're looking for. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm excited about. Make it happen. If AI does bad things, is that really because the thing itself is bad, or is it just because the way you've trained it? It's the way you've trained it. These things there's artificial intelligence doesn't exist, ladies and gentlemen. It's not a real thing. Johnston tells The Hollywood Reporter in support of Megan 2.0's June 27 theatrical release. Megan 2.0 underscores the point that after a defense contractor acquires Megan's leaked source code to create Amelia Ivana Senkno, sure, a military-grade killer android who immediately defies the U.S. government to go rogue, as they would. She begins to target anyone who had anything to do with her creation, forcing Gemma to rebuild, hopefully, a more reliable Megan as humanity's first and only line of defense. The plot may seem halfway similar to Terminator 2 Judgment Day, but Jon Stone insists that that was only purely coincidental. Oh, sure it was. But you got to admit, though, there's a really cool part about Terminator 2, right? After having seen Terminator 1 and this robot, this android robot thing is constantly coming after her, finally gets killed. Years later, she's put into a nut house. Everybody's told her she's absolutely insane. You think there's even part of her that might even start to be, thinking that exact same thing herself. And then when she's in the nut house, out of nowhere comes the big giant android man that was trying to kill her. But now he's friendly. Now he goes, come with me if you want to live. What an amazing kind of thought just to put before an audience to be like, this is how you got to think about this. Would you, if you were this woman, would you trust the thing that just, that years ago you tried to kill, you thought was, out to kill you and everything, but now is putting his hand out and saying, come with me if you want to live. Oh shit, so good. It's really funny because the comparison started after the script was written. I thought, I guess James Cameron did it first, like everything else, Jon Stone said with a laugh. But I was really just focused on the redemption arc for Megan. I'll also say that T2 would be more similar to Megan 2.0 if it was a redemption story for Arnold Schwarzenegger's first Terminator film for the Terminator. Terminator 2 has a completely different robot. That's true. That's true. It's not like they go back and it was the initial robot and they kind of like just before they sent him out, like, I don't know. No, it's a different robot. They all just look the same. They all look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Whether we like it or not, corporate America is already integrating AI into our society, and many more issues are bound to arise from this radically evolving tech. That's particularly what Johnston believes Megan's franchise could have a long shelf life. Each subsequent film could explore the latest developments in this still maturing technology, just as the two films have already done. And honestly, I think if you're going to have any reason to continue on the Megan series, this is why you do it. And if you continue on with this idea, and I think that we do constantly need this in horror films, is there's an underlying idea of stuff. You don't need to hit us over in the head with it, George Romero. But I do think that there needs, horror can easily say something, certainly about the society and things that are going on currently and everything. And I think, especially as far as technology and stuff goes, because that is so fastly evolving all of the time, that the Megan franchise is probably as good as any to kind of explore that. Why not? I would not be surprised if there's another 5 of these movies. So who knows? Maybe I'll come back for the 5th one. As long as they're putting the dumpster truck full of money, in front of me, I'll be a-okay with that, I guess. Jon Snow may be somewhat level-headed about AI and its AI in and of itself, but make no mistake that the currently volatile, the currently the current volatility in just about every walk of life has made him particularly nostalgic about the past. I'm trying to not be a curmudgeon, but I kind of hate this future in so many ways. Agreed. Johnson shares, it's really strange to be a parent in the modern age. You find yourself reminiscing about simpler times all the time, and it was not really the impetus for me getting involved in Megan in the first place. I think a lot of us would agree with that, Uh, and I don't know about you guys for certain, but over the years, I will easily go and just be like, oh, I understand where all the old people were coming from. I get it. It's just like, yeah, those people should shut up. Yeah, I don't care what those young people say. Their opinions don't matter. They've been around for 5 minutes. Why do I care about them? I get it now. You get it. Old people dancing in public, that used to be the cringiest thing in the world. I'd be dancing in public now all I want. Why do I care? That not caring, boy. That's some big brain right there. Get old and stop caring. I'll tell you that right now. Blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to go through. There's a giant look at this bad boy. This is an interview like nobody's business. I would go back and I'll read this at some point, not to you guys and everything, but I'll read it at some point after I've seen the movie. But that is a giant ass interview there and everything. So I won't be reading all of that, but we'll leave the show notes there for you as well. But me, I'm excited for Megan 2.0. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. They got the same actress to do the robot again, and she's grown a little bit, so they also make the robot grow so a little bit, which is fun. And you kind of hear that in the trailers, like, "Oh, I'd also like to be taller." It's because the actress that was filling the suit would do that as well. You didn't call my buddy for the sequel, though. A little bit disappointed on you on that one, Megan, but we'll let it slide this time. But hey, there's going to be 5 more, so many more opportunities. How's everybody holding out, man? Yeah, yeah, man. Yeah. Hell yeah, bro. All right, we got one more article and then we'll kind of do a review here. How long? 50 minutes. That sounds about right. That feels about the right amount of yappage. As always, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't, be a dirty baby. Please like and subscribe. I love you so much. All right, from the folks over at Variety, James Gunn says the movie industry is dying because films are made without finished scripts and Marvel got killed by the output increase. That wasn't fair. Not sure what that means, but maybe we'll find out here and everything. I saw James Gunn in person while I was at Dragon Con several years ago, just right after the original Guardians of the Galaxy came out and everything. This was back when he was still dyeing his hair and everything and looking like a ridiculous person. So nice to see him just embrace the gray, live with it. He looks 1,000 times better. He doesn't look like he's lying to the world. You don't want people lying to your face, man. We knew you was. You know what's funny though? He's tall. He's a tall cat, man. You don't think about it, but to look at him, but tall dude. Let's read on. James Gunn has stressed from the minute that he took over DC Studios that no superhero movie under his watch would go into production without a completed script. Now, in a new interview with Rolling Stone, the filmmaker attributed the so-called dying film industry to Hollywood's fatal mistake of always making blockbusters before their scripts are officially completed. Quote, I do believe that the reason why the movie industry is dying is not because of people not wanting to see movies, Gunn said. It's not because of home screens getting so good. The number one reason is because people are making movies without a finished screenplay. Yes. It's true. It's true. And if it's not a finished screenplay, on top of that, it's a screenplay that also has to, weave in 78,000 other things. And if it doesn't, why do we even have it there? It doesn't make sense. It's just so stupid. Dun, 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 dun. Here we go. Gunn noted that DC Studios recently killed a project because the script just couldn't get to the right place, explaining everybody wanted to make the movie. It was greenlit, ready to go. The screenplay wasn't ready. And I couldn't do a movie where the screenplay was not good. All right. We'll all remember that come a couple of weeks here, James. And we've been really lucky so far because Supergirl's script was so fucking good off the bat. First of all, I'll believe that when I see it. And you bet, and it's going to be a tough thing making me believe that is the tiniest Supergirl. She's so little and everything. Let's, far be it from me though. And then Lanterns came in, and the script was so fucking good. Jesus Christ, we're a little bit salty here, aren't we? There, James Gunn, my word. Clayface, same thing, so fucking good, my word. So we have these scripts, and we've been really lucky or wise in our choices, whatever the combination is. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find. Like, here's the thing, man. At the end of the day, it's all going to come down to Superman. I think if Superman comes out and kicks ass, it's going to be great, and DC is going to at least be garnered a little bit of faith ahead of time. They're going to think, it'll be all right. We'll give them a little bit of, a little bit of leeway. No big deal. But I don't know. I don't know if it sucks. I don't know. Trillian says, "Oh, I'm looking forward to Clayface. I'm looking forward to a Clayface one as well. At the same time, too, as per always with these things, what is Clayface without a Batman, though? That's what I worry about. I worry about no Batman in the it's like Venom. Same exact thing with Venom, no different." Another thing Gunn said that is working in his favor is that there's no corporate mandate from Warner Brothers to churn out a certain number of films and television projects at DC Studios. I will be completely honest, that's a shocking statement. Maybe because Warner Brothers is kind of just so desperate for things now, and they're desperate because they're going back and making the Harry Potter on HBO and all that bull crap. That's just desperate. That's just like, you like Harry Potter, don't you? You like Harry Potter? Just give us money, please. That's what they're hoping. Gunn is also is an alum of Marvel Studios, having directed 3 Guardians of the Galaxy movies and a Christmas special, and noted that Disney's mandate to increase Marvel's output amid the launch of Disney Plus had a negative impact on the larger universe. Agreed. But again, this is all like, that's Monday morning quarterback, and anybody could have told you that. Disney CEO Bob Iger has openly admitted to making this mistake. Well, of course he did. Why would he not? That wasn't fair. It wasn't right, and it killed them. Gunn said of Marvel, we don't have a mandate we don't have the mandate at DC and to have a certain amount of movies and TV shows every year. So we're going to put out everything that we think is of the highest quality. Again. Woo-wee. These I hope he backs up the words, man. We're obviously going to do some good things and some not so good things, but hopefully on average everything will be as high quality as possible. Hold on. Which is it? Is it like everything's going to be good, or like we're hoping it's the best average out? You know how it is. That's an Adam Porter's move if I ever thought one, man. It was just like, oh, hedging our bets here at the end, are we? Why not? Nothing goes before there's a screenplay that I'm personally happy with. That's a good thing. And I will say this for James Gunn, that cat writes. He writes, he works. I don't know how he's doing it, quite frankly. Because I think really since Guardians, he kind of hasn't stopped working, like kind of at all. Like nonstop. It's been nuts, actually. With Gunn's Superman arriving in theaters next month, his DC universe is about to launch. Only one other movie only one other movie in the new franchise has completed filming in 2026, Supergirl, but the plan is to build out the universe on the big screen with movies about Batman, the Brave and the Bold, and Wonder Woman. Batman's my biggest issue in all of DC right now, personally, Gunn told Rolling Stone. And it's not I'm not writing Batman, but I'm working with the writer of Batman and trying to get it right because he's incredibly important to DC, as is Wonder Woman. I agree more so with Batman than Wonder Woman, but that's fine. So outside of the stuff that I'm doing in the projects that are actively going, our two priorities are finishing Wonder Woman and the Batman script. Okay. Batman has to have a reason for existing, right? He continued. So Batman can't just be, oh, we're making a Batman movie because Batman's the biggest character of all of our Warner Brothers. Well, which he is. But because there's a need for him in the DCU, and a need that is not exactly the same as Matt Reeves' Batman, but yet he's not a campy Batman. I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in a funny, campy Batman. Really, I should read all the words here. So we're dealing with that. I think that in a way that, but I think that I have, in a way, I think that I have, oh, Jesus Christ. I think I have a way in, by the way. Too many ways in there, man. Way too much. I really think I know what it is. I'm just dealing with the writer to make sure that we can make it a reality. Hey, you do it right. You do it right, or you get one of these. Gunn said developing a Wonder Woman movie is actually easier for me because there haven't been so many infinite portrayals of Wonder Woman. Definitely not in movies and not really anywhere that have been that there have been Batman. That is such a secret way of kind of backhanded Gal Gadot there. And here's the thing, this chick can't even X, so it doesn't even matter. You don't even know what Wonder Woman's like. And enough champagne to fill the Nile. Every single Batman story has been told, Gunn concluded. That's very true. It seems like half the comics have come out of DC over the past 30 years have Batman in them. Also very true. He's the most famous superhero in the world and the most popular superhero in the world, famous and popular. And people love him because he's interesting, but also having so much of him out there can also make him boring. True. How do you create a property that's fun to watch? You make him a detective. You continue to go on and make Batman a detective. Head over to Rolling Stone, blah 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 blah. So yeah, man. Here's the thing. I am what we'll call cautiously optimistic for James Gunn's Superman. If you go and listen to our Dinger Zone episode, we're talking about our most anticipated upcoming movies. My number one was this new Superman movie and everything. And I'm not gonna say I'm scared. Like I said, I'm trepidatious. Not as much as I am for the Fantastic Four movie, but we'll see. I mean, I'm of the idea at this point that with James Gunn, I trust him until he screws us. you know, once you start doing things that are, weird and questionable and stuff like that, that's when we can start going like, hey, I don't know about all this stuff. But just like Sam Raimi with Spider-Man, when Sam Raimi's Spider-Man came out originally, I think a lot of people's thought was like, oh, I don't know about all this. But then after that Spider-Man, everybody's thought was like, listen, whatever this guy wants to do with Spider-Man is A-okay with me. I think it's kind of that same situation. What up? How's everybody doing? Any comments would be lovely to have. Bob Iger has been sanctioned. You say bad joke. I say good enough pun for me. The only mistake I made was that the first Spider-Man is not letting Defoe use his face. Yeah, I mean, the Goblin mask was certainly a product of its time and everything. But do you remember? Did you see the footage? Because I'm sure you have. There's footage out there of the Green Goblin mask and everything that they were working on that has like the animatronic face and whatnot. Oh man, that looked good. It's one of those things that when you see it, you're just so mad that what you've got was what you got, and you're just like, oh, we got the lacrosse helmet or whatever the hell's going on with this thing. It was not good. You know what's also worse about that is the stupid Spider-Man video game for the Xbox and everything spoiled how he gets killed in that movie for me. I was playing the game and I was just like, surely, and I was just like, oh, uh-oh. And then when I went to see the movie, I was just like, well, I know what's going to happen here. It was so not fun. That's why you don't read books. That's why I don't play games based upon the things, mostly because those games usually suck ass. But sometimes they also might spoil the movie. But there was no shocker in it, so I guess I had that going for me. All right. Last up. How's the audio quality been? Has things been okay? Things sound fine. I'm kind of changing around a couple of doodads here and there, and I always want to make sure that we're doing all right. Make it bigger so I can read it. Got bad vision. Yeah, the one thing I did like about it was the mask. I'm sure that it's a flying demon mask away from Army of Darkness, and that's the one that names Sheila. Okay, good. Audio sounds good then. Like to hear it. Like to hear it. Also, I want to let you guys know as well, the community tab is now live in YouTube and everything. And if you got articles or videos or anything that you want me to read or react to in any way, shape, or form, throw that in the YouTube community there. I will I'll pull that up. We'll make it part of the show. We'll make it a thing, see? Alrighty. Let's do this. Well, Jaws came out on 4K, and I'm that guy, man. I bought it. I bought it again. I already owned Jaws on 4K. I already owned a Jaws on 4K in a steelbook, but I bought another one. I want to say it was P.T. Barnum that said there's one born every minute, and I'll tell you this right now. You're looking at one. Yep. You're looking at a grade A certified sucker over here. Because every time they say, hey, we got a new Jaws DVD, I go, okay, here's my money, take it. I almost didn't buy this one for whatever reason, but oddly enough, I misplaced my other Jaws in a box that I just recently found. But it was all to the side. I was just like, well, I really want to watch Jaws in 4K on an actual disc and everything, so I might as well go ahead and buy this thing. And I heard that there was a documentary that was coming on this disc, so I felt like I was justified in my purchase. At least that's how I like to think about it. So I purchased it, and luckily, it does come with a brand new documentary called Jaws at 50, because this is the 50th anniversary of Jaws. The movie that kind of did it all, man. The movie that changed everything. The kind of quintessential Hollywood blockbuster of the modern era. Jaws is the movie that kind of started it all, man. And the thing that, oddly enough, this documentary, and we'll get into it in just a second here, but one of the things that this documentary itself didn't actually even focus on was just kind of the way the movie itself kind of changed the landscape of things. And I mean that in a very literal sense. Right now, there are beachfront properties, and I mean properties that are literally on the beach, condos, hotels, all of these things, sitting right on the beach, and they have a pool attached. Now, before 1975, that wasn't a thing. You wouldn't go around, like, I'm sure there were a couple here and there that weird things happen. But why would you have a pool when the literal beach is right there? And I'm not talking about a hotel that's like off the strip there and everything, and they got a pool because, you're 6 blocks away from the beach. No, I'm not talking about this one. I'm talking about one where you're sitting on your balcony and the beach is right there in front of you. Why do they have a hotel pool? Why do they have a condo pool? Jaws. Jaws is the reason that there are hotel pools and nobody talks about it. No one talks about it. Got nothing to do with salt water. I wish it was that easy. It's got to do with people just being scared of sharks. And the movie that did that was Jaws, man. Changed everything. Let's get into our little review here and everything. Here's the IMDb plot line for Jaws at 50, the definitive story. As we know, IMDb always 100% correct in everything they say and or do. A tribute to Jaws, 1975, the movie that sparked a lasting fascination with the ocean's most misunderstood predator. Is it misunderstood? Is it misunderstood? This is directed by Lamont. I'm gonna screw up your last name, Lamont. I got a tough last name, so I feel you. Abuzaranu, sure. And writer Peter Benchley. I think they're just basing that upon the fact that he wrote the book Jaws, which, by the way, is one of the main things in this movie that I was kind of surprised about, because I don't know about you. I know a good fair bit about Jaws. And if you're anything like me, you've also bought many an edition of Jaws on DVD, Blu-ray, what have you. And as such, you've probably seen all the documentaries. The big one, The Shark Is Not Working. I think that's one, the big one everybody kind of recognizes is up until this one, I guess, was kind of considered the definitive Jaws documentary. Now, what I call this new Jaws at 50 the definitive Jaws documentary, I don't know about all of that. It feels like that's a long, that's a bit of a stretch right there. But it's fine enough. I was trying to see the running time of it because it's not like wildly long. It's like it's under 2 hours and whatnot. So it's not like you're sitting down and you're going to have the most exhausting uh, look at Jaws that you possibly can. That's not what this is. This really is just kind of a reflection back on the years of Jaws, what it's meant to cinema. Some of there'll be plenty of stories that I'm sure that you've heard. There'll be a couple of stories I think that you probably haven't heard. A couple of interviews that you haven't heard before, and I think one of the big things and the big takeaway that I got from this movie was really the Peter Benchley bit. Peter Benchley was the writer of Jaws and everything. And he was instructed that, hey, you need to be writing this Jaws screenplay here and everything. And so he was pretty trepidatious about it. This was not his kind of field. It wasn't what he did and everything. But like the research that he did with writing the initial book and everything, and kind of the fervor that he went back to, when writing the screenplay and stuff like that, he just was a guy that was kind of proud of stuff. He's proud of what he did, and I think he did a fantastic job, writing a great book that then translated into a big movie. And especially when you've got, a young Steven Spielberg there who, pretty green for the most part, but only been directing some TV stuff here and there. And was he like 20? What did you say? He's 26, I think, when he was doing this. It's an unbelievable age to be, putting this thing on your shoulders, and not to mention all of the problems that were going on, famously with the shark and all that kind of stuff. They cover a bit of that here as well. Some great interviews, good stuff. A lot of modern interviews with Spielberg and everything, which is really great to hear him talk about his movies of the past. I think he needs to do a little bit more of that and stuff. And honestly, I think it would be nice, Steven, if you sat down and actually did some audio commentaries and stuff for your films. You're getting up there in age and everything. I think people would at least like to hear your thoughts on your films. You're kind of one of the most prolific directors of our time here, certainly the most profitable of them all. Throw us a bone here, man. Give us a little insight and stuff like that. But maybe he doesn't want to, but I don't care if you don't want to. Do it. But again, there's some good like Robert Shaw footage and stuff like that I don't think I'd ever seen before. And we interview his son, which is pretty cool. And Robert Shaw's son is actually doing a stage play about the making of Jaws, where he plays his dad. It's kind of fun. Looks like it's kind of a fun time there and everything. But really, it's nothing that's going to break a lot of new ground here or everything, and you won't you won't open up your eyes and go like, wow, I've never seen Jaws in this way before, and perhaps I never will again. No, you'll know most of it. You'll get it. But I got to be honest with you. The entire time, I am just watching with a giant smile on my face, dude. Because Jaws is kind of the perfect movie. It's amazingly good. It strikes every single time that I see it. Every time that I see it with an audience, they are enthralled with it when they want to be. I did have one story one year where the movie's starting up and everything, and there's this guy, he's in the row with me. It's me, then there's about 3 or 4 empty seats, and then this guy and his wife. The opening is going on. They're like, we're still seeing some credits here and everything. And this guy is talking. And I mean, he's talking loud. And so I kind of, you get to looking. You're like, all right, is he going to be doing this the whole time? What's happening? What's going on here? And at some point, he's talking to his wife in the volume of voice that I'm using right now. He's talking to, it's like, hey, it's like we're doing this thing, and I looked at him straight in the face, And I said, "You are not at home. Shut up." And he wanted to go. He wanted to fight right there, man. He said, you want to fight me?" I said, "Yeah, I will beat your ass. You just sit here to the end of this film, and I will beat your ass in the parking lot. But shut up. We're watching a movie." This motherfucker seethed in his chair for the next 90 plus minutes. He was so ripped. Then, by the time that the credits hit, and the credits for Jaws aren't too long, credits hit and everything, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get out and walk out. I walk down to the corner, just as you kind of just starting to take your turn there to go out, right? But you haven't crossed, you can still kind of see the full auditorium and everything. And just as I'm about to leave, this guy starts talking shit. He starts going, oh yeah, okay, yeah, you run on out of here, talking motherfucker with your big mouth. All right, I see what you're doing. So I was like, all right, bet. Because what he didn't know was I was seeing 2 movies that day, and Jaws was the first. So I was like, all right, here we go. I took my popcorn out and I kind of like plopped it on the little table that was right outside in the lobby area there. And I waited on this dude. I was like, all right, he wants to roll. We're going to roll. We'll roll right here in the movie theater lobby. Which is bullshit because I know he wouldn't go fight nobody. Come on, I'm a giant man. I'm 6'3", man, and at the time I was pushing about 3 bills, so he was not gonna be messing with me. But he walked out, he looked around, and that was the best part too. I knew exactly what he looked like, but he walked out, looked around in the lobby. He looked me dead ass in the face. Didn't recognize me. He moved on. He was looking around. He was looking like he thought I was in the like waiting for him like just outside of the out of the doors there. It's like, nah, homie, I'm waiting on you in the lobby, son. Waiting on you in the lobby. But he left. He ain't do nothing. Everybody's a big old talk and everything, but when they see a 6'3" man in front of them, they start thinking otherwise. They're like, oh shoot, he a big one. Trillian says, when I went to see Van Helsing with my dad, this guy answered his phone and talked on it in the middle of the movie. I was about to go beat his ass until he finally left the auditorium. I got a better Van Helsing story. Oddly enough, I also saw that film with my dad, but we saw it in a preview. We saw it a preview screening that was like maybe like it was on a Wednesday and that movie comes out on a Friday, right? As you said here, not a good movie, Van Helsing, but still very true. Which goes to my point of the story. This preview screening and everything, they usually have like a rep from the company that'll come up, but every now and then there was a weird thing where a theater rep, like someone like a manager from the theater would come up and start talking to the audience and everything. And for the screening of Van Helsing, for whatever reason, I'm not gonna say his real name because I don't remember it, but I'm gonna say it's like Rob or something like that. And he just goes, he would always come up and make a big ass deal of everything before the screening and just go, "Hi everybody, I'm Rob. Hi Rob." We would do that shit back to him. Like he didn't like that, but we did it anyway. He just goes, "Listen, I gotta be honest with you guys. I caught an early screening of this movie tonight, Van Helsing, and it is. And if this movie," he said, "and if this movie is any indication, we are in for an amazing summer." We watched that movie, and my dad and I looked at each other. We said, if that is an indication of the summer, we are screwed. Van Helsing was an absolute utter turd. Man. When the vampire ladies look up and say, "Too bad, so sad," I was done. You trying to fight pussy? Yeah, baby. Who am I not saying this about? Like the fake guy that I'm talking about? Well, I mean, he was a real person. He's fake as far as I was concerned. Thanks for watching on Kick, though, by the way, man. Appreciate you. We don't have a lot of comments from Kick that aren't actually spam. That's one of the wild parts about Kick. It's usually just like, hey, this is bullcrap spam. Oh, Van Helsing, I'm talking shit about Van Helsing. Yeah, sorry. You like the movie Van Helsing? Please explain to me why that movie was good in your estimation. You played Path of Exile? No, I don't. It's, what's weird is I'm not quite the gamer I used to be. I'm an old man now. You know what I'm waiting for? That GTA 6. That's what I'm looking to get back into. Last game I played was Astrobot. Highly recommended. You're gonna be dead by then. I probably will be dead by the time that GTA 6 comes out. You're definitely not wrong at that point. I got to be straight with you though. I thought for sure, the way to get any of the riots and stuff to stop was to release GTA 6. It would have been the best thing, right? It's like, listen, don't go riot in the streets. Riot at home on GTA 6, available now on all platforms. Problem solved. That's why they need to hire me for government. Big brain. That's why this forehead's like this, man. There's too much knowledge in there. Knowledge. All right, I've been rolling for an hour and a half. This has been fun. Thanks for having some comments, especially on Kick. That's awesome. Thank you. Thanks for subscribing, follow, and all that kind of stuff. Because nobody does over there. That's what we're just trying to do the game, multi-stream it all, and do it all, man. Same thing goes for Twitch. Everybody, if you have Amazon Prime, go over and just subscribe and and do the Prime sub there on Twitch, and just throw it at me. It'd be lovely, especially if you're not somebody that's on Twitch normally and everything. That just kind of throws like a nickel my way. Trying to fight this try this fighting game I learned about where the character roster is the US presidents. You know what? I'm going for Taft. Yep. If there's a president fighting game, I'm going for Taft. Big boy. Big boy. You remember, who's that fat guy in Tekken? The real big fat country looking guy in Tekken? Who is that? That's what Taft would be like. Taft was so damn fat that he broke the White House tub. That's his claim to fame. Breaking a tub because he's a big old fatty. Taft is the E-Honda of presidents. Correct. Absolutely correct. If it's been said before, it's been said a million times, but it always remains true. True. I was gonna do maybe a react video or something, but I don't really know. I don't know. Chat, what do you think? Anybody wanna? I got a Linus Tech Tips video that I've been kind of itching at. I put it in the watch later category, and now it's kind of being like, when are we going to do this one? All right. Going to work soon. I need to go to sleep soon because I've been, I don't know. Just had a long day here. All right. I think that'll do it for this evening, everybody. It's been a fun one. Appreciate you. What we'll do, of course, as per usual, chop up some of these bits here and everything, and put them up on the regular YouTube page and whatnot. And I'll be placing the audio off of this onto those, so the audio quality will even be better. I'll add in some like little other little doodads here and there. So if you think you've seen it before, maybe you want to watch it again. And when you watch it again, then you're like, oh, look, somebody was creative. Put a little bit of thought, a little bit of effort into this thing. And I'm doing that for you. Doing that for you. Thanks, Alex. Appreciate you, buddy. Yeah. My thought too is especially is I'm kind of trying to figure out what'll be a good time for all this. And I'll say this at least as far as like kind of watching the stream numbers here and everything. This is the most kind of consistent. I've always kind of consistently had about 3 or 4 people, within, all the way up to I think 5 or 6 at one point. In this one, I think we had like 7 last week or whatever is kind of like the highest one. So it's not a ton. But always thankful that anybody is willing to kind of tune in and listen to my kind of rants and nonsense and whatnot. So, and as always, we're going to be doing the shows on Sunday. I think I'm going to try to push for the boys to do like a same old, and just have us do Sundays, live, starting the live at 8. We just kind of get together and do like the pre-show and Dinger Zone at 7, and then do the live show and stuff at 8. That'll keep us also on more of a, consistent time track there and everything. So got all that. So yep, that'll do it, everybody. Appreciate you. Thank you for hanging out, and do us a favor, like it, subscribe it, tell your grandma, shake somebody down in the street, grab their phone from them, pull up our channel, hit that little subscribe button. Don't have to put on the notifications. They don't need to hear that. They just need to be subscribed. I'll just show up one day and be like, oh, this is interesting. Again, thank you guys for hanging out here and everything. And I think we'll do this tomorrow, and we'll see you then.